Namaste, welcome to Geeta's Kitchen. Jnani namapi chetamsi Devi Bhagavati Hisa Baladakrishya Mohaya Mahamaya Prayachati Durge Smrita Harasibiti Mashesha Janto Swaste Smrita Matimativa Shubham Dadasi Daridya Dukkha Bayaharvika Tvadanya Sarvopakara Karnaya Sadatra Chitta. In the last video, we just had an introduction that the Lalita Sahasranamam tells us about the 1000 names of Devi Lalita. It is not just a mere recitation of the 1000 names, but we deeply contemplate and meditate upon these 1000 names so that we are able to emulate them. See, when we talk of say children and teenagers, very often they have their own role models. It might be sports persons or the filmy superstars or anybody else in life whom they feel is their role model, and you will find that they try to imitate them in whichever way possible. Maybe the way they dress, the way they walk, the way they talk. They are so much in awe of them that they want to become like them. But in our lives, whom else can we emulate but the Supreme Mother, who is the incarnation of everything possible or positive and everything beautiful in life. Before we begin the recitation of the Sahasranama, we recite the Dhyana Shloka, which I did at the beginning of the previous video. This Dhyana Shloka is a prayer because we close our eyes and meditate on a form for the formless entity. Because this Supreme Mother, you cannot attribute one particular form to her. She is all forms. So to meditate on her at the beginner stage, we need a form, and for that we have the Dhyana Shloka. The Dhyana Shloka begins with Sindhuraruna Vigraham. How is her form? What is her color? She is the color of Sindhura. You know the Sindhura, the Kunkuma color, or the color of the early morning sunrise. She is the color of that morning sun, early morning sunrise. It's such a beautiful sight to see, and when you look at it, it is very soothing to the eyes also. So that is Sindhurarana Vigraham Trinayana. She has 3 eyes. Manikya Mauliswara Taranayaka Shekharam. Remember, she is the empress of the entire universe. So she has a beautiful crown which is studded with beautiful gems. So like that, as we go on, a lot of descriptions and qualities. But the one I will be dealing with in this video on just a handful of names which appeal to me very much, and I would like to share them with you. So in this Dhyana Shloka, we come across another word, Smita Mukhi, to describe Ambal or Devi. Smita Mukhi, Mukhi is face, Smita Mukhi, a smiling face, a pleasant countenance. Why is she smiling? She is so full of compassion. She is a mother. She is not the mother of only us humans. She is Brahma Kita Janani. She is the mother, right, of Brahma, the creator of Brahma himself. Who is Brahma? Brahma is the creator of the universe, and she is the one who is the creator of Brahma. Right from Brahma, right down to Brahma Kita Janani, right down to that small worm which is crawling on the earth. She is the mother of all the beings, and she is ever smiling with her compassion towards one and all. So this is one simple quality which we can emulate. Try to be smiling always. So then when I say this, some people might ask me, Geeta, it is very easy for you to say all this, but how can we be smiling always? We have so many problems and tension and stress in our everyday life. Quite true. When you are born, when you live a life, there is nobody who is free from problems. There is no one who is free from worries. We have to face it in some way or the other. Maybe somebody has got a physical problem. You have high blood pressure. Smita Mukhi, be smiling through it. Somebody has got a financial problem. Maybe he has taken a loan to construct a house, and now with this pandemic and maybe reduced salary, he is finding it difficult to pay. Smita Mukhi, pray to her, she will help you out. Maybe somebody has got a problem with their relationship at home with some family member, or maybe you have a problem with your job, whatever it is, so many different kinds of problems. But then how should we approach all these problems? Always with a smile. And how will you get that smile on your face? Only when you are able to control your mind. If within ourselves we have this sense of peace, then that peacefulness will show on our face. Yes, worries are there, tensions are there, but every morning you surrender yourself to Devi and say, Amma, please help me, you are the only one for me, please show me a way out. Then you can be also always smiling, just like the Divine Mother. Not only you will feel happy, you will keep those around you also very happy. Another thing is, when we enter these 1,000 names of Ma Lalita, don't be in a rush, don't be in a hurry to get over the 1,000 names. I have seen some people who very enthusiastically start reading the Lalita Sahasranama because it is 1,000 names. They read the pages and pages, and then they say, oh, where are we? Oh, I am only in 376. How many more names to go? That is not the way. One cannot teach the Sahasranama. One has to experience it, one has to enjoy it, and then you will really get the complete benefit of it. See, it is said that even when we do a pradakshina, that is when we circumambulate a temple, some people just rush through it as if it is a marathon, and as if somebody is going to give you a prize for completing it first. No. It is said that even when you go around a temple, how are you supposed to go? Your speed should be like that of a pregnant lady who is full term, right? A pregnant lady who carries a pot of oil on her head, and she has to walk without dropping it, without spilling even a drop of oil. That should be your pace. So go through it slowly, enjoy the meaning of every nama, every word. As I told you, each nama is a mantra which is highly beneficial. Lalita Sahasranama. The word Lalita, what does it mean? Lalita has got many meanings. It means beauty, and one of the meanings is also just play. So this, the way the mother, she controls the entire universe, it is just play for her. And so our life, if you think really deeply into it, our life is also just a play. Because just like us, so many other human beings all across the world, we are born, we grow up, we do our different actions in the world, and then we die. And this happens continually. It is a cycle. From birth to death is a cycle. So you must learn to enjoy every moment of your life and not go about life with such a serious look on your face. Some people really don't know to enjoy life at all. Even simple things. I have seen, maybe you are watching a football match, and if you have two people at home who support two different teams and your particular team lost, that's it. Then the person, his entire mood is gone, he starts throwing things around and goes about with a moping face, and then he says, I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat, and such things. What happened? The world has not come crashing down. After all, it's a football team which has lost one particular match. Another match you might win again. So learn to take life a little more joyously and a little less seriously too. When we start the Sahasranama, what is the very first name? Shri Mata. It begins with Shri Mata. Mata is mother. And a mother is the one a child thinks of, especially in times of difficulty. And the Shri before it indicates auspiciousness. Whenever we add Shri, it indicates auspiciousness. And this is a very wonderful concept, because a mother is one who is so approachable. When you want to talk to your mother or approach your mother, One doesn't need an appointment or something to go and talk to her, and you don't have to prepare for it just as you would go to meet a CEO of some company, or you want to tell your boss something. You have to think so many times, how is his mood, is he free, and so on. Not so with your mother. With your mother, it is very, very easy to approach, and that is why the Niyama itself starts with Shri Mata. Shri Mata, she is the Mata not only of us human beings, but she is the Mata of the entire universe, and so compassionate too. A mother knows what her children need. We don't even have to ask her. Imagine, for small babies who haven't even learned to speak, doesn't the mother know what the child needs, whether the child is hungry or sleepy? Similarly, the universal mother knows all our needs. All we need to do is offer complete Sharanagati at her feet and tell her, Mother, I have come to you as your child. Please bless me. Let's say you are in a party or some function, and you are a group of people introducing one to the other. And then what do we say? Oh, hi, this is Rohit. This is Suma. And this is Mr. Sharma, my neighbor. And this is my mother. That's enough. No other introduction is needed. She is my mother. That encompasses all. I remember when one celebrity who had traveled all over the world was asked, what is your favorite food? His reply was, Maa ke haath ka khana. That is, he has tasted the cuisines of different parts of the world, but his favorite one is the food made by his mother. And I'm sure everyone will agree that a mother's lap is the safest and the best place for one. Even if you go on a holiday to the most exotic tourist spots, when you come home to your mother, however humble the place might be, you feel such a sense of caring, such a sense of being relaxed and refreshed when you go back home to your place and start your work. The next name is Shri Maharagni. Shri Mata, she is my mother, Shri Mata. And who is she? She is not only my mother, she is Shri Maharagni. Ragni means Rani, queen. She is queen of one particular place? No. Maharagni, she is an empress. And Shri Maharagni, an auspicious empress of what? Of the entire universe. The sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, all perform their function at her behest, at her command. She is Shri Maharagni, Srimat Simhasaneshwari, and she is sitting on a Simhasan, that is her throne, and ruling the entire world. And so on, we go through a number of names. As I told you earlier, I'm just picking a handful of names which come to my mind as I talk to you. And another important name is Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti Swarupini. A long name indeed, but so full of meaning. See, let us say you are embarking on any new project. Then what happens? First, the desire that I must start this project, that desire has to be generated in your mind. Then, is it enough if you say, I want to start this project, I want to set up this, or the idea for a startup, that idea has to first be generated in your mind. Ichha Shakti. Jnana Shakti. If you have the idea, is it enough? You need the knowledge of how to go about it. And then Kriya Shakti. You need to know how to execute it to perfection. So she is the one, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti Swarupini. She is the embodiment of all this in every person. She helps you to generate the idea in your mind. She gives you the knowledge to go ahead with that, and also she gives you the energy to perform the action and take it to completion. She is also described as Nitya Tripta. Tripta means contented, satisfied. Nitya Tripta, always contented, always satisfied. This is another important quality which we can inculcate in our lives. See, always if we continue comparing ourselves with others in whichever way, maybe in looks or in position or your financial status, there is no end to it. We have to be Nitya Tripta, always satisfied. And in a lighter vein, I remember a small story. See, in South India, before all this mixie and grinders came, we used to grind the idli batter using our hands in a stone mortar and pestle or a stone grinder. So the story goes that it seems a daughter-in-law, she was sitting and grinding the batter. You know, the urad dal has to be ground very fine, almost like butter it should become. It should not be grainy at all. So every time she would grind it, take a little bit of batter and go to her mother-in-law and asked her, Amma, is this enough? Can I stop grinding? She would say, no, that is not enough. You go and grind some more. And this poor girl would go again and grind it for another 15-20 minutes and now take it to her mother-in-law. Amma, I think it is enough. Don't you think it's okay now? It's quite fine. Shall I stop grinding? It would be fine, but she was a typical mother-in-law and said, no, it is not enough. Go and grind it some more. So then this daughter-in-law understood, whatever I do, this mother-in-law is not going to be satisfied. So next, what did she do? She took a little bit of butter and she took the butter and see how I have ground it now. Please touch the batter and see, is it enough? The mother-in-law, no, I think it should be ground some more. Then she realized that this mother-in-law is just harassing me and it is enough of grinding. So that mother-in-law was a person who was never tripta, was never satisfied. But how should we be? We should be always satisfied. Nitya tripta. Always satisfied with what we have. Satisfied with our position in life. Because that is what she intends for us. And she knows what is good for us. And she gives that to us. Sometimes you just come across somebody and you ask them, how are you? And finished. They have a long list of complaints and they start off with a monologue which never seems to be ending. They have a complaint of how the maid did not come home or how somebody in the house is treating them, or maybe it might be complaints about their health and their ailments and so on. Yes, you might have problems, but at the same time learn to say I'm fine and always think positive and look forward to a better tomorrow. Instead of always complaining and grumbling about how things are, be Nitya Tripta, always contented, always satisfied. Another very beautiful name is, my personal favorite is Avyaja Karuna Murti. Karuna is mercy, compassion. Normally we show compassion or mercy to somebody with some reason. Maybe somebody has helped us in doing something. Oh, she helped me so much in the preparation of this. Let me give her something extra this time. So we are showing her compassion or mercy to her. Or we do some favor to somebody expecting something in return. But Mother Devi, she is Avyaja Karunamurti without any reason. I don't think we have even done anything to deserve it, but she still showers her compassion on us. So just like the shower of rain, the water evaporates from the oceans, become clouds and fall down as rain. Did the ocean expect anything from us, or did we do anything for it? But then it just goes, the cycle of nature continues. Just as the cool moonlight shines on every house, whether it is a palace or a small hut, she is Avyaja Karunamurti. She shows her compassion, she showers her compassion on one and all without any reason also. When something negative happens to us, we are quick to complain. I don't know why I have to suffer so much in life. What did I do? Why is God punishing me? But when something good happens, do we even stop for a moment and think, what did I do to deserve this? I don't think I even worked very hard for this. It is nothing but her grace and her compassion being showered on us. Every time we read the Sahasranama, new meanings emerge and we understand it better. We were introduced to the Lalita Sahasranama by our father when we were just children in middle school, class 7, class 8. We used to come home from school, then have a bath, keep the puja room ready for it, and then he used to tell the names and we had to repeat it, and only then after the entire puja is finished, we have the prasadam and dinner. At that time, we did not understand the meaning of these words, but what was important is that we were lucky and fortunate that our father instilled this into us. More than any other gift that he has given us, I can say that this initiation into the Lalita Sahasranama is the best reward or the best gift that he has given us, because it is something that which has stood us throughout our entire life, stood by us through our entire life. And you might ask, but how can I enjoy this Sahasranama without knowing the meaning? At that stage, I did not know the meaning. And our Mahaperiva, my Guru, has also said, it is not necessary that you know the meaning. First, you get the practice of chanting the Sahasranama. Imagine it is like a treasure chest. It has got a lot of valuable possessions in it, but it is locked and nobody knows where the key is. They have misplaced the key. Today you don't have the key, but does it mean that you will throw away the valuable and throw away the entire, that chest of valuables? No. You keep it, you take good care of it. Maybe one day you will be able to find the key, unlock it, and all these valuables will become yours and you will enjoy it. So make it a habit of reciting the Sahasranama whenever you can, whenever you have time, and continue the culture and tradition with the future generations also. The Lalita Sahasranama is followed by the Falashruti. Falashruti means the fruits or the benefits which we get by reading the Sahasranama. They are just innumerable. When you have time, you can go through it. But I feel the benefit of reading the Sahasranama is the Sahasranama itself. It blesses you in so many myriad ways. And as she says, Raga Swarupa Pashadhya Krodhakara Kushojala. Give up your Raga and Dvesha, that is like and dislike. Give up your ego. These are all the causes of your tension and stress, so that you can be happy always. The true meaning of Navaratri has been so beautifully condensed in this that I want to share it with you. Navaratri actually is a kind of cleansing process. We are cleansing ourselves from within. So for each day of the 9 nights, let us do each one of these things. Starting with Prathama, the first day, you promise, these are small promises or certain resolutions which you take for yourself. First day, decide, I will control anger. Dvitiya, that is the second day, I will stop judging people. On Tritiya, the third day, resolve that I will leave all grudges. Day 4, Chaturthi, I will forgive everyone. Day 5, Panchami, I will accept everyone as they are. Day 6, Shashti, I will love everyone unconditionally. Day 7, Saptami, I will abstain from jealousy and guilt. Day 8, Ashtami, I will leave all my fears. Day 9, Navami, I offer gratitude for all the things I have and all which I will get. Vijayadashami indicates victory of good over evil. There is abundance in the universe for all. Happy Navaratri. Thank you for watching the video. It is nothing other than the grace of Ma Durga that an ordinary person like me has even tried to attempt to talk a few words about her. It is just her unlimited grace. And also my humble pranams at the feet of Mahaswami, Mahaperiva, my parents, and all other elders who have taught me so many things in life. My best wishes to all my viewers and subscribers on Navaratri. May Ma Durga bless us all. Avahanam na janami visarjanam, pujam vidhim na janami, shamasva parameshwari, anyatha sharanam nasti, tvamevam sharanam mama, tasya karunya bhavena raksha maheshwari.